And in fact, the reason I use Instagram is when I post on Instagram, it forces me to select the best photos from, and so every photo on Instagram makes the album.
I've used Instagram the exact same way as an artist the whole time. So you're speaking my language. Like here's a reframed shot, and it's just beautiful.
That's a good photo.
There is a distinct learning curve to this tech, right? And it's something that I've been living with for about 9 years. So it just makes it real easy to capture.
Was that Burning Man? What Burning Man?
It wasn't. That was Luna Park, Coney Island.
Luna Park. Okay.
All right, so I'm opening the app. It's just installed on my phone. I'm using an Android. Here's a Spherio. It's just a collection of 2D media transformed into a 3D collection. It has a lot of options. You can gamify the content. I'm going to go to the one I made of you. I just grabbed a picture of you, okay? And then on the back, I put information that says, I am an entrepreneur, angel investor, polymath. Link into Fabrice Grinda. Try my AI, right? So it's real simple, and then it can be geotagged right here or anywhere or seeded to be everywhere.
Yep.
That object can be opened inside AR, ported into VR. I'll show you the AR real quick. I'm just going to open it inside the room, select it, open it, move it around in any direction.
Yep.
And then now it lives here. Something I learned from you, one of the many things I learned from you, is timing. I feel like this tech still hasn't arrived. It's a little bit too early.
Very early.
Very early.
Yeah. And only user gaming. The market where it's taking off, and the Quest 3S is taking off, is the Roblox crowd. It's like it's the 8 to 13 who actually like doing immersive worlds.
It's a good demographic to tap into if you can capture their attention. So at the Stephen Colbert show the other day, Francis Ford Coppola came on. It was a fantastic interview. They drank an entire bottle of wine. In 45 minutes, they sat there and talked.
Cheers to art.
To art, to the future. When you jump into the unknown, you prove you are free. Well, as an artist, I want to be free. The freedom.
To freedom.
And one thing that struck me was he asked the question, what is it that people want most? Do you have an answer to that?
Humans have a universal need, and it's true in every country and every culture through history, are just three things. They want a sense of purpose, they want to be seen, and they want to communicate each other. So a sense of community. And it's all three. It's not annoying without the others.
I agree. And in short, Colbert replied, is to not be alone, right? Which is kind of a combination of all of those things. There are a lot of people that move throughout their days and throughout life alone.
You know, people don't say it, but number one, we're one human family.
So after tagging 1,000 Spherios and feeling extremely lonely, I was down at South by. Have you been?
Nope.
Okay. It's a great festival.
Yeah. No, so all these things, honestly, I find that most meaningful learning lessons do not share on stage. And I don't know, it feels more like a party or like, I don't know, people go to network. I don't find it particularly interesting, meaningful, and more the place where bands discoveries epoch at that.
On that note, that's something that I want to attempt to solve. Connecting the right people in the right places at the right times. Very simply put, you enable the device to cast out a signal within a certain radius. AI checks the other people using it within that radius, gives you your optimized result, who you should talk to, how you can meet them, and why, what you can talk about, and then incentivizing it in a very particular way. Offerings to buy two verified people that verifiably have never met, 1 cup of coffee each or 1 beer each, okay, within a certain amount of time upon their first meeting. It's only redeemable once every 24 hours, so you can't totally game the system, but it makes the first interaction transactional. It also requires them to attach their socials so we can check and see if these are people that they have met or not. It's about connecting people that have never met to each other for strangers.
And the objective is what? Business connections, you making friends, dating? Not
dating, okay? Of course, I think every app is used for dating in some way or another. But this is really about intrinsically enhancing social connection for humanity. Offering people the ability not to feel like they're alone. like they're moving through life wherever they go, projecting out who they are, and there's an opportunity at all times to connect with somebody else.
Very acceptable. People try to do this, where they try to create apps where you can make friends, meet friends.
Yeah.
And the multiple approaches, some of it geo-localized, where people cross them and they have natural interests. Some have tried to do different activities. So you go pottery class or whatever. For the most part, they can't.
I believe that we're a species of geniuses. We can solve any problem put in front of us if we'll just realize that we have that talent.
It's just so profoundly different in the way people completely manifest.
It is.
They may say they want to, but then when you look at behavior, it doesn't seem to suggest they want to. From a business model perspective, is if you do your job right, you lose your user. Uber, the more people use it, the more they love it, the more they use it. The friend apps had the same problem as the dating apps, which is people use it, maybe they had one or two friends, and then they felt like their friend quota was filled and they churned. And the willingness to pay for friends was lower than the willingness to pay for dating. So you had a problem of high customer acquisition costs because from a research perspective, like your Google and Facebook looked similar to dating, so your CAC was similar to dating. Yet the willingness rate was lower, so the revenue per user was low and the churn was pretty high. So retention was low, churn was high, and the NPS ultimately was rather low. Regardless of the host city, which was geolocated based on distance, or around a Pinterest list, pottery class, wine tasting, whatever.
This is more designed with the notion of feeling like you don't have to drink your coffee alone in the morning. If you choose, you are empowered. It's empowering people to feel like they don't have to be alone.
Yeah, but I find that the very same people who have that problem would have to be the same people that have an issue, like approaching people with random person, if you're an app, they're talking about having coffee and feeling comfortable versus being awkward meeting some random person and have coffee. But
exactly, that's one of the core problems that we would be dealing with is social anxiety.
Yeah.
And helping to alleviate that by offering them the sense that they already know a little bit about the person that they're trying to connect
So
with.
funnily enough, the loneliness epidemic, the few apps that seem to be doing best are kind of more like online chatting. So you find someone to chat to. And I wouldn't be shocked if ultimately someone like GPT, there's somebody you can chat to and become lonely and become your best friend, or avatars that need to be chat GPT, so selected by whatever. But I remain highly skeptical of the idea. To the degree that your CAC is low and your revenue per user is high, attention is high, and sure, why not? But
I'll reference a particular question that I wanted to ask you, Ben, about where you feel there can be value as a marketplace when you can identify the inception moment when two people meet, where they meet, and directing them where they would go from there. Let's say that we're doing a college sporting event as a test market with an MVP. We're going to have boots on the ground. We're going to get people downloading the product and then connecting with each other and offering them a free beer. All right, at a specific number of places.
You've given people beer and you pay to acquire them with the app. Doesn't sound like, actually, it sounds like a hot CAC.
I think it would be. I absolutely agree. I got a notification yesterday from Cash App, and they said, hey, we'll give you $20 if you sign somebody up and we use it. So it accesses all my contacts, right? I think that the CAC on this would be lower, the cost of a coffee or a beer.
Well, you usually see the add-on in the app. It's the coffee plus the cost of getting it there.
That's correct, right. I think it would give people a story to tell them to each other. And it's such a unique happening, right?
Again, I have no a priori discussion on these things. You want QC?
So, do you mind if I take this off?
Go for it. So I've seen this type of interaction. I've seen it in like making friends. I've seen it around activities. As I said, so far all of them failed. So I'm skeptical that the N+1 version of that is going to be do any better. But by all means, just try it.
And actually, to me, that's motivating because it sounds like there's plenty of room for a winner-takes-all scenario.
Sure, but I worry that it's a no-winner scenario.
Sure, of course. I mean, part of what you said is part of why I want to do this, so that the riffraff don't just feel riffraff. So maybe a couple of riffraff people get together because they had the same dreams and the same goals. And
So that's what was happening in these apps, right? Because these apps ultimately were trying to tell you, we're going to introduce you to people who can do business. It just didn't lead to business. Yeah, because they were none of them were decision makers and had purchasing power, and so you were not meeting someone that could buy your product.
again, that's where there's a major disconnect. Yeah, you have your conference app like by Wahoba, right?
Yeah.
But by the time anybody looks at the messages to conferences over it never works properly. This is real time.
Is the society we're living the only one available to us? We should make it better by being able to ask all the questions.
Maestro, I hope you're right.